morning, dear student. A very good morning to all of you. So, dear student, today we are going to discuss about 26th August, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So, dear student, how you can get this PDF? To get this PDF, you can simply scan this QR code. And once you are scanning this QR code, we download our application. And within that application, there is a section called Infographics Edition. In that infographics edition, you will not get the today PDF. All the past PDF available there, you can get it from there. So those who are using iOS and iPad device, you can download Class Plus application and use Orbit Code Edge PKR image to get it. And you can also scan our Telegram to join. You can scan this Telegram to join our Telegram group. There you'll get all these things. Okay? Same, the PDF or all these things, you can get it from there. So first important news is Supreme Court asked government to form a guideline to regulate the conduct of social media. So recently we have seen so many social media influencers. So they are misusing their freedom of speech and expression on the social media to abuse others. So court says that influencer commercialize free speech and their comment have capacity to hurt the sentiment, and it was hearing a case against comedian Samay Raina for insensitive jokes about person with disability on the social media. The Supreme Court on Monday said that social media influencer commercialize free speech and their comment have the capacity to hurt the sentiment in diverse society, which include person like disability and children, senior citizen, and minority. So bench of justice said that union government to work on guideline to regulate conduct of the social media, because social media is a platform. It is providing anyone an opportunity to express their opinion, but that opinion should not be misused to promote hatred, to create derogatory remarks against any section of the society. So social media including online source such as podcast, consultation with the national broadcasting and digital associations. So this is an organization that is basically deals with regulation for digital media. So we a balance between the free speech with equal importance to the varied community live in dignity. So while Article 19 of Indian Constitution provides us freedom of speech and expression, there is also responsibility towards respect to the other section of the society. So we need to balance that. So abusing freedom. So court was hearing a case against the comedian Samay Raina for abusing freedom of speech and expression by making insensitive jokes about person with a disability. When you are commercializing free speech, you should bear in mind not to hurt the sentiment of certain section of the society. We are living in a society, so we have to respect the freedom of speech and dignity of other person as well. So that is what the main intention is. So the Article 19 is quite controversial time and again. So Article 19 provides freedom of speech and expression, but there is a reasonable restriction that is being provided under Article 19 2 section K on there. So while we are we are enjoying our freedom of speech and expression, we need to be quite responsible so that our speech or sentiments will not hurt anyone. So next is 5 journalists among the 20 killed in the Israel strike in the Gaza hospital. So last 22 months, we have seen that how Israelis pondering over the Gaza, killing 63,000 people. So that includes some of the art workers, that includes some of the journalists. So this is what worst form of crime that is being committed by the Israel. So international level, so there is a demand to hold the Israel responsible for war crime it is committing. So dear student, next important news is the first Indian astronauts to go international space stations, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla with his wife Kamna Shukla at felicitation alma mater. So you can know about Axiom 4 mission. By using that, Indians, the group captain Subhanshu Shukla ji visited to international space station, and later on the experience that we have gained can helpful for our international the Gaganyaan mission that is we're planning to launch. Okay. So dear student, next year after in 2026, after your prelims to mains, hardly 75 days is left. So it is very difficult to cover the mains answer writing in that stipulated period of time. You can start writing answer by scanning this QR code. You can join our answer writing program. Here you'll get quality evaluation at very nominal fees. So next is Modi degree row. Delhi High Court squash the Chief Information Commission permissions to inspect university records. So Delhi High Court on Monday squash means cancel the Central Information Commission's order permitting to right to information activists to inspect the Delhi University 1978 Bachelor of Arts record. Here Prime Minister Modi graduate. I don't think what is wrong in that. So if if any person is completed, graduation, I think that document should be provided to everyone. Otherwise, if you can write during your election in your candidature, you are saying that someone is completed BA or having that much education. So if that is the case, then anyone can claim that person can be PhD and just to win the election, and later on the election, the chief information, the High Court can deny them also. I think if someone is having the education, what is the point of fearing of that? So let everyone should know that also, na. So there's something which is of interest to the public is quite different from something which is public interest. So something which is of interest to the public is quite different from something which is public interest. So I think this is a quote they can ask about, ethics question also. So that means, something that is interested the public that can be popularized, like, something that can be good for TRP rating is not always good for the public also. For example, promoting rape victim, promoting, sexual crime may get TRP by the journalist, but it is not in public interest because that can further promote, this kind of crime among the weaker section of the society. So there is no uh, implicit public interest in respect of information sought. So RTI plea uh, filed by the Neeraj, the activist Neeraj. So CIC, that is Chief Information Commission, had ordered due to allow inspection of its register containing detail of all students who have passed in 1978. So including roll number, names, father names, and marks provided, certificate extract, relevant page. After the due challenge the CIC order, the court stay in the every very fast hearing in 2017. So DU has contended that it cannot reveal detail of the personal information of all students who have appeared in BA 1978. So I think if let's say any individual other than the prime minister, if that case is involved, I don't think in that case university can deny. So what is the point of having special treatment even so that person is prime minister or even the president? I think everyone record need to be public so that public should know whether such any person is saying lie or not. In democracy, we are not going to accept whosoever may be. We should know about the truth. So that is what I think we need to ensure that whosoever we are demanding certificate should be put in the public domain. Okay. So the DU said that it has argued that the information of the student held in the fiduciary capacity same is exempted from disclosure. Under the RTI Act, university said that Chief Information Commission order are far-reaching adverse consequences for all universities. No, I don't think they should provide. Why they are giving such a false argument, useless argument. So next is incomprehensible. Congress said that it was incomprehensible why educational degree detail of the Modi were kept complete secret when such detail of the graduate has always been public. Yes, when you are saying that you have passed this graduate or whatever may be the qualification, then what is the objective of if you are publishing that in the public also? It is simply incomprehensible why educational degree detail of the particularly prime minister kept in secret when such detail are everywhere else available. Okay? And I think there is also criticism that this incidentally was reason why the amendment of RTI Act 2005 were bulldozer through Parliament 6 years ago in face of determined opposition. So recently, our the Parliament passed a bill that weaken the Election Commission of India. So weaken the Chief Information Commissions because the tenure is reduced from earlier 5 years to it's decided by the government. Terms and service condition is also decided by the government. Okay. The next important news. So next important news is the IIT researcher use microbes to unlock nature's hidden jewels. So recently some IIT researcher they conduct some experiment on the microbes to understand how microbes they are mutating, how they are responding to the antimicrobial resistance. So in a breakthrough that shed new light on one of the biology most puzzling question, researcher at IIT Bombay has shown that subtle difference in how nutrients are presented can push microbe along different evolutionary path. Let's say there is a same microbe, if you are giving one kind of nutrient, other is given different kind of nutrient, so both follow different path of evolution. So that can be a good understanding to understand why microbes are gaining antimicrobial resistance while other are not gaining. So Escherichia coli, so it's a common gut bacterium, it's found in the human. So next is Saccharomyces, so it's a yeast widely used in baking. So researcher designed to study the test whether microbes care about what they eat as well as they solve. So they experimented that, and later on they found that the findings suggested that the way a cell respond to the nutrient can influence which mutation are beneficial and what path of evolution they are taking. So by understanding that, it is going to helpful for development of drug, antibiotic that can fight the resistance. The study also suggested that a strategy to fight antibiotic resistance by restructuring evolutionary pathway available to the pathogen. Okay. So by carefully tweaking the nutrient combination, researcher may able to direct the microbial evolutions to create a strain that grow faster or more efficient, opening door for application in the food, beverage, and pharmaceutical and biofuel also. So by modifying that, we can ensure that this microbes is also applicable for application in food, beverages, pharmaceutical, and biofuel. This study also suggested that a strategy to fight antimicrobial resistance by restructuring evolutionary pathway available to the pathogen. So, so that is what the application of the study. Dear student, you can join our mentorship program. So, Sudhracharya Learn mentorship program. You will get good quality mentorship at very nominal price. You can scan this QR code to check out, or you can ask for details or to know about more detail about this program. Hello, dear student. Let's see about next important article. So, like other relics, India's fossils are at high risk of being sold abroad. So, India is one of the land with ancient land where you'll find a lot of fossils of ancient marine or land-based organism. But these fossils are we are not preserving properly. So that is what led to the smuggling and later on sold at the international level. So these are treasures. So by using that, it can provide clue about our evolutionary history. So we need to preserve that. The fossil once bound for the lab are now advertised in the storefront and auction house. So extinct sea creature once crowded ancient ocean. Today, the fossil remain are sold on the street of Paris. Large rare species face staggering sum of private collector at the auction. So instead of making it collective property, so some few people are getting benefit from these things. So in Western India, some of the country's richest fossil bed lies inside the coal mines. It is grueling work of paleontologists, paleo, uh, paleontologists, those who are dealing with excavations of all these old marine old organism. So long day with haze of dust and deforming hammering nights. So they are doing very strong work. So recently there is a species found, name is Basuki indica. So it is found in India. So this is an ancient giant snake, may have stretched as long as a tour bus, but without national repository or secure data catalog. So fossil locker like those of abroad, without having proper legal aspect, without having proper systematic storage of all these things, so that they can be prone to misuse and later on they can auction. So these are natural treasures, so we have to protect. So this article is talking about that only. Apart from that, no need to worry about. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next is Rohingya refugee in Bangladesh marks anniversary of exodus from Myanmar. So I think you know that Rohingya are most suffer migrant of they are migrating from the Myanmar. They are now taking shelter in the Bangladesh. So tens of thousands of Rohingya refugees from the Myanmar living in the dozens of camp in the Bangladesh mark the 18th anniversary of their mass exodus, demanding safe return to their previous home in the Rakhine state. So they are basically located in the Rakhine state. So they can ask about the match the following. So Rohingya from which region? They can ask about Rohingya Rakhine. Then they can ask about the Palestinian from Gaza Strip. They can ask about other area also. Ukrainian from Zaporizhia. So you have to link all these things. So this kind of question in past they have also asked. While Bangladesh and UN have long campaigned for safe return of the more than 1 million refugees, situation inside the Myanmar has remained volatile, especially in their previous home, Rakhine State. So Bangladesh Rohingya Muslims face challenges including hard cut and donors. So hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims began leaving Myanmar for Bangladesh in August 2017. They travel by foot or boat during the selling and other violence by the Rakhine State. So here two important organizations they are fighting for one another. One is the government army, that is the Myanmar military, and second one is the Arakan. So these are the people armed group. They are fighting in protecting interest of the Rohingya people. So that is what led to the violence and displacement of all these Rohingya people. Next, the Mirabai break no sweat top spot in this style. Since are finishing the Paris, so just remember that Olympic medalist named Mirabai Chanu. So I think this is what you need to know. So also planning this year also. So we are hoping that Mirabai Chanu might got the medal for the India. So next important article seeks to transform sports day into a Jan Andolan. So sporting activities nowadays gaining prominence, and we are seeing that more support is provided by the government. So recently we have passed sports policy, sports bill, and we are planning to host the Olympic in 2036. So in the extended celebration of sports this year, National Sports Day will stretch into a 3 days Jan Andolan across the state, across the country. Many state and UT have started the order to concerned department initiate preparation for the National Sports Day. Okay, so we need to promote sporting activities, sporting culture all over the India, so that India can be a sporting hub of at the international levels. So next important is Israel withdraw troops if Lebanon disarm the Hezbollah. So I think this is Israel of northern border. So Lebanon is located. So in this border region, so Israel captures some village because the Lebanon give shelter to the shelter. So now Israeli say that we will sort all this out and will return back the captured land if should be taken by the Lebanon to disarm or disarm the Hezbollah. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel was ready to back Lebanon effort to disarm Hezbollah and offer phased pull out of its troops if Beirut follow its plan to seize the group's weapons. November ceasefire that ended war between the Israel and Hezbollah. So Israel has continued to strike the Lebanon. So Israel stand ready to support the Lebanon in its effort to disarm Hezbollah and work together towards a more secure and stable future for the nation. So I think you need to know about detail about it. So I'm just showing it in map. Yes. So if you look, this is Israel and this is Lebanon. So you can see there is a border between and Beirut is located near to the coastal area. So it is they can ask about which of the following countries are having border to the Mediterranean Sea. So you can see from here. Okay. So this kind of question they are asking. So whenever you see anything, so please watch immediately the map, world map. So you'll get a lot of insights to it. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next important news is children are dying from the starvation in the Gaza. So you can see about the Gaza. Israel is also bombing the Gaza. This region is called Gaza. I think the triangle shapes you are seeing is called Gaza. Oh, this is Gaza Strip. Yes, this is Gaza Strip. So you can see about at this point only 60 to 100 trucks per year are entering Gaza, but that's a drop in the ocean. We are talking about 21 million peoples. They are suffering from the hunger, malnutrition. So World Food Program, he added that ceasefire is the only way to turn the disaster into enclave. Recently, there is a fight that is going on between Israel and the Palestinian in the Gaza Strip. So Israel is heavily bombing the Gaza Strip and it is not letting any hard worker to be going on there. So the food security situation in Gaza is desperate and difficult. So World Food Program in an interview, so they are talking about international pressure on the Israel to allow truck carrying food to enter the Gaza. World Food Program in a constant touch with the Israel government, because in past also UPSC asked multiple questions which reason of which suffering from the hunger. So from that perspective, you need to know about you need to have fair amount of idea from which reason they are asking. So malnutrition rate among the children are spike and children and mother are dying in the clinic from the starvation. Right now, the situation is worse than we ever seen it. So World Food Program has enough food on the border to assist the entire population for 2 months. We have capacity, the system, and know how to roll it out. So, but problem is that Israel is not letting them to carry out their activity. So we are talking about 2.1 billion people. They are suffering from the hungers. So next, if you can see about other region that is also facing the problem. So that is also include the Sudan also. Yes, you can see about the Sudan is the largest hunger crisis that World Food Program has seen in the decades. Then in Ethiopia, okay, Ethiopia is also face this kind of problem also. And this article is also talking about the Rohingya Myanmar also. In Myanmar there is a deteriorating, and World Food Program is estimating that 10 million people are acute shortage of food there. And it is talking about India is also having the capacity to act as a leader providing food aid, because we are self-sufficient in terms of production of the food, so we can support all over the world countries. So dear student, okay, just providing food aid because we are self-sufficient support all over the world countries. चलिए, so आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next you can see the chat GPT maker. So the ChatGPT maker push AI in India education and hire new cheap also. So ChatGPT maker OpenAI announced learning accelerator program for India aiming to bring advanced AI to India's educator and millions of leader via AI research training and deployment. So this is what the OpenAI is aiming to capture the market and create large base for their market in India also. So recently they are pushing very hard. India is the largest population of the student ChatGPT user worldwide. So you can see about we are the largest ChatGPT user. So the firm announced that 5 lakh grant to the IIT Madras, which will work on the OpenAI effort to evaluate the progress of its attempt to introduce AI one-on-one tutor in the classroom. So one-on-one tutors, the firm will be assigning 5 lakh ChatGPT plus licenses to the school teachers India by working through the Ministry of Education. So some license will also be provided to the Higher Education Institute through AI India Council for Technical Education. By working closely with the university, school and government bodies, educator, we have already opportunity to transform education through the AI. Yes, AI is having AI to make our education more personalized experience. For example, let's say in a class 100 student, not all students are having equal talent. So but we can make our education system tailor made to the each and every need by using the AI. So unlike the past effort, use of technology in education, generative AI work for the simple reason, because unlike in past we have seen overuse of technology generally not work, but now it is going to work because majority of our Indian population, they have started using the ChatGPT or AI in their education. So already they have been adopted. So further push led to the further adoption. So that is what very good, because India, there is a apprehension that by using AI, a lot of job is going to be lose. But if we can train our peoples toward the AI, so instead of AI became the job loser, it can be job, it can create a lot of new jobs. So Fitch rating retain the BBB minus for India, flag US tariff. So I think that three famous rating agency, they are Standard and Poor, Fitch, Modi. So they are providing rating for the different countries. So rating basically deals with how a country is worth to pay back its loan. For example, if a country is having higher rating, that means it can easily pay back the loan. If a country is having poor rating, that means the country is not having the capability to repay the loan. The higher the rating, less is the interest rate. Okay? So the Fitch rating retain the India's BBB rating with a stable outlook on robust growth and solid finances. The rating agency said that the private investment is expected to stay subdued because US is importing high tariff on India. So when US is imposing high tariff, so it is going to impact our export. So if our export is impacted, so private will not invest because they know that there will be less demand for their product. So India's rating are supported by its robust growth and solid external finances. So a few constraints, for example, India's financial metrics such as a high deficit. So if you look into combined deficit of the union government and state government, they are quite high. Debt at the general government level is level and lagging structural metrics, including governance indicator and GDP per capita constraint in the country rating. So these are few challenges for maintaining the low rating. So USA tariff are moderate downside risk because of the USA tariff. So that is what going to impact our export and ultimately economy. So if you look into USA account 2% of India's GDP, the export to USA account for 2% of the India GDP. So that is what they are thinking, it is going to impact. So next important article is aligning formulation API GST, and this is what said by the Pharma Excel. So let's say we are making some medicine. Let's say this is the medicine, and to make this medicine, we are making this medicine. There is the same medicine is also available for export. While exporting the finished medicine, we are charging 5% GST. But to manufacture this medicine, we need API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, and there we are charging 18% GST. That is what the cost of raw material is very high rather than the cost of the finished product. So that is what called inverted duty structure. So we need to correct that. It is easy or low to import raw material so that we can manufacture the medicine in India and the cost will be low so that we can export at the international level, and at the finished product we need to impose high tariff. Then only we can ensure export of our product. So ahead of the GST council meet next month, in which two rate structure proposed to expected to be discussed, the pharma export body Pharma Excel appeal for aligning GST on active active pharmaceutical ingredient. That means these are used for making all these medicines. So formulation or farmer product at present, the formulation or finished products is levy at a 12%, but active pharmaceutical ingredient and input are levy at the 18%. So that means input cost is very high as compared to the finished product. So that is the reason export also. Under the two rate structure, if formulation move to the 5% slab and API is 18% slab, gap input and output taxes is known as inputted duty structure will be widened from 6 to 13%. So that is what going to impact our export. In such a scenario, the bound to lock growing capacity and create refund backlog. So that is what we need to correct. This is what also called as inverted duty structure. So next is CBDT working on the soft to handle siege digital data. So recently, the Parliament enacted the Income Tax Act 2005. So it empowered the CBDT, Central Board of Direct Tax. They can capture or they can take all the control of passwords of all the electronic data. So now we need to find a standard operating procedure to operationalize how we are going to implement. The Central Board of Direct Tax is working on the standard operating procedure that would govern the handling of digital data obtained during the search and seizure operation and would release rules soon, according to the senior official said. So recently we have enacted the Tax Act 2005, allowed tax officials to override the password. So earlier, in case of tax raid, so tax official have the power to break your lock. They can access all this data. Now this power is extended to the digital media. Now they can ask you password of your digital media. If you're not providing password, they can break that and enter into the digital media. So search and seizure takes place to detect undisclosed income and hidden assets. So the Income Tax Act 2005 allowed tax officials to override the password where necessary, since taxpayers now store their books of account and financial detail in the digital form. That means you have to provide detail of your the password of your book. Otherwise they can seize it and open it by using other means. So next important article is RBI to offer back tariff hit sector. Recently, because of the 50% tariff that is being planning by the USA to impose to penalize India from buying the Russian oil. So RBI is coming forward to help sector if they are hit by this tariff. So governor pledged support for the growth of the economy, including sector that are impacted more. Banking regulator chief expect impact of the is minimal if center succeed in trade negotiation. So if India is able to achieve a trade negotiation, then we can reduce the impact of the trade sanctions. So should the tariff imposed by the USA President Donald Trump kick in, so Reserve Bank of India, as in the past, would step in and provide financial supports to the most impacted sector to tide over the crisis. So during COVID-19 time, we have already seen that the RBI also pitch in and help the sector that is being hard impacted by the COVID-19. So it may be recalled that during the pandemic, so RBI have provided moratorium on the loan terms and eased the access to the credit for the MSME, virtually supported the economy through monetary policy. So 50% tariff is yet to kick in. Negotiations are on. We are hope we will be having minimal impact. So as you know that 45% exported item are outside the tax net, and of the remaining 55% be some potential impact on some of the sector like gems, jewelry, so textile sector, auto part, shrimp and MSME. So these are sector that is being impacted by the tax. So you can write this in your mains answer, or you can write, they can ask about which of the following sector are going to be impacted by the US tariff. So you can talk about gems and jewelry sector, because most of the gems and jewelry sector, diamond particularly, we are exporting to USA. So next one is textile, auto parts, shrimp and MSMEs. So to question, there is a question also asked to the RBI, internationalization of the rupee. So Malhotra or the governor, RBI governor said that it is important area on which RBI has been working for many years. It is important for country to develop trade in local currency. It is cushioning us from volatile foreign exchange. So if we are doing, let's say, in local currency trade, so it will prevent any change in the dollar rate. So it will act as a caution and promote India's economic power at the international level. So starting that, India currently have agreement with 4 countries including Maldives, Mauritius, Indonesia and UAE, so to trade in the local currency. So you need to remember that they can ask this question also. So healthy trade is happening in the local currency. On how it could be put out, he said that it's a slow process and could take year, decade to evolve, and trade in the local currency. So the promote trade in the local currency, it will take some time. It is a gradual process. You cannot expect that we should start trading in the local currency overnight, and no doubt we are doing that in a healthy way. So in future we are going to promote. And also the RBI governor also emphasized need to further strengthen the banking correspondence. Banking correspondence, in a village area, there are in rural area, village are located sparsely. So there can be a centralized bank, let's say SBI Bank. So with multiple banking correspondents, so they are located in the village area, they are going to provide banking service. So single person with a handheld device, internet, they can provide banking service to the different, and that person is connected to the centralized, central bank. So that is what called banking correspondence. So that help in providing service to the rural and far-flung area. So dear student, you can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram. There you will get a lot of study material we are providing on a daily basis. So next is center allow one-time switch from UPS to NPS. So recently, Union government implemented UPS. UPS full form is Unified Pension Scheme. So Finance Ministry on Monday introduced a one-time one-way switching facility from Unified Pension Scheme to the National Pension System. So there is a demand by the party to revert it back to the old pension scheme. In this old pension scheme, government will provide 50% of pension of last drawn salary to worker to reduce the financial pressure. Government introduced new pension scheme. It is being implemented 1st of Jan 2004. Those who have joined after 1st of Jan 2004, everyone they joined under the NPS. And under the NPS, both the employee and employer, that is government and employee, they have to contribute. But under the UPS, it is a hybrid between the old pension scheme and new pension scheme. So government is planning to start it from the 1st of April. Government has introduced UPS as an option under the NPS for central government employee, like those who have already joined under the NPS program, new pension scheme. After 1st of Jan 2004, they can switch to the UPS, Unified Pension Scheme, to get good pension. Okay, so UPS will be provided assure payout to the employee. It will provide assurance that fixed amount of money. Around 31,000 central government employee have opted for UPS till July 20. So last date is September 30. And government is planning to provide one-time opportunity in future. They can switch facility that exercised by the UPS, so they can revert it back to the NPS. Okay. So next, airdrop test successful, big step in Gaganyaan mission. So in Gaganyaan mission, let's say we are launching this satellite. So in case any accident happens, so this launch vehicle need to be airdrop. So whenever it is dropping, there need to be parachute that is being opened up so that it can slowly plus over the water to prevent any damage to our the space crew. So first integrated airdrop test conducted successfully at Sriharikota on Sunday mark an important step for Gaganyaan, India's skillfully watch program for sending humans to the space. ISRO will follow off with the second test vehicle. So on crew, so we are also going to test on crew mission. We are also going to send one mission with the you can see about onboarding Vyam Mitra, the humanoid robot developed by the ISRO, to understand before actually launching the real Gaganyaan mission. So we have to perform multiple tests to understand how it is behaving and understand different conditions before we can launch the final missions. So next important article is Supreme Court form panel to examine the complaint against the Bantara. So Bantara, Supreme Court on Monday constituted a special investigation sting chaired by the former top court Judge Justice Cheleswam to conduct independent factual appraisal of complaint regarding allegation of violence raised against the Bantara Zoological Rescue and Rehabilitation Center conceptualized by the Ananta Ambani at Gujarat Jamnagar. So it is a rescue and rehabilitation center that is being formed at the Jamnagar to provide rescue to the wild animals. Okay. So the alleging the unlawful acquisition of animal from India and abroad, mistreatment of animal, financial illegality, and money laundering against the Bantara. So these are the allegations. So this committee has been formed to do impartial investigation and to find whether these are true or not. If they found they are true, then we can take the corrective measure. So next important article is the stealth frigates Udaygiri and Himgiri join the Navy today. So vessels are follow-on to the Shivali class frigates. So they have been advanced weaponry, modern sensor system designed to execute full spectrum maritime operation in blue water conditions. So if you look into ocean, so very close water if you are traveling very far off from the coastal area, this is what called blue water navy. So this is what help in promoting India as a blue water navy at the international levels. So India Navy is set to commission state of art project 70A. So you have to remember project 17A is basically aimed to implement the stealth frigates Udaygiri and Himgiri at Naval Base Visakhapatnam. Okay. So Singh said that the both vessel are follow of the variant of Shivalik class frigate. So these are follow of the Shivalik class, and they are featured like enhanced stealth capability. That means it cannot be detect it is having small radar cross section, advanced weaponry, and modern sensor system designed to execute full spectrum of maritime operation in blue water condition. Blue water condition means far off from the coastal area. Let's say if Indian Navy is operating African coast, or then South China Sea, it can be operating on the let's say the Atlantic Sea. Then only we can say these are blue water condition. So Udaygiri built by Mazagon Dock Limited, Himgiri built by the Garden Bridge Shipbuilding and Engineer at the Kolkata. So showing India's growing shipbuilding expertise. Yes. So sometime if you have the constraint, and constraint can be a boon, because Navy is getting very less amount of fund from the central government. So that is what led to the higher amount of indigenous content in Navy as compared to the other Indian forces. Okay. So collaboration. So that too is going to be launched. So next is Rajnath Singh laud the role of the citizen in Operation Sindoor. So I think you already know during Sindoor, so people at the local region, they have provided fully supports to our operations. So that is what helpful in bringing Pakistan to its knee within a very small span of time. So one more thing, despite having animosity, India provide flawed alert to the Pakistan. This is not provided through the Indus water commissions, rather we are provided through the diplomatic channel. Despite we are having all this threat or conflict that is going on, we are helping. India alerted Pakistan to a potential flawed, but stressed that its warning was communicated through diplomatic channel rather than Indus Water Commission. It is being established, the Indus Water Commission is established under Indus Water Treaty. This is first known official contact between two countries since 4-day conflict between two countries on the Operation Sindoor. Dear student, you can join our UPSC Prelims test series. You will get high quality test series yet very low nominal price. You can simply scan this QR code to join it. Chale, so next, retired Judge Shlam De Saha comment on the Salva Judum. So already I have told you, Salva Judum actually in Chhattisgarh, they have formed, there is a tribal group who are headed off against the armed conflict that is being committed by these Naxalites. So they have started a group. The name is Salva Judum, and this tribe people of Salva Judum, the weapon is provided by the state, so they themselves start fighting against the Naxal. But later on, Supreme Court, they directed that, fighting and protecting to citizen is the sole responsibility of the state. A state cannot outsource these functions to the someone else and provide weapon. Rather, what state can do, they regularize the Salva Judum, they can provide the training and they can provide the weapon so the state can have control. Because in past we have seen whenever the state government or the union government provide arms to the local people, that led to the human right abuse by this group also. So a group of 18 retired at Supreme Court and High Court have panned joint statement against the Home Ministry Amit Shah remark on the Supreme Court judge against the Salva Judum. Because the Sudarshan Reddy, who is contesting, the Justice Sudarshan Reddy, who is contesting the vice presidential election. So the Home Ministry accused that because of Sudarshan Reddy given the verdict, so the Naxalism could have been controlled by 2008. It is not able to control that. So to protect, to criticize this comment, so these judges, they have given the comment saying that prejudicial misinterpretation will have chilling effect on the judges of the Supreme Court, settling the independence of the judiciary. So that means while people are holding such a high post, they need to be behave in a proper way. Before saying anything, they should be put everything in factual way. No doubt during election, everyone should be criticized, but criticism should be fair, factual. It should not be used, politicized. It should not be used to gain upper edge. Mr. Saha has accused the Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy, the Vice President election candidate and co-author of 2011 judgment, the supporting Naxalism. So says that, supporting Naxalism, he said that if Justice Reddy has not delivered the judgment, left-wing extremism could have ended by 2020. This is what said by the Amit Saha. So the campaign civilly. So, while the campaign for the office of vice presidential election of India, well, ideological, it should be conducted civilly. You should be maintain dignity. You should not criticize just because you should not say anything just because you have ideological difference. Out of respect of so so you can see the ready is not deliver judgment. Lefting extremism. वो तो हो गया चलो. So it can be conducted civilly with dignity. Criticizing the called ideology of either candidate should be eschew. So this is what said by the retired judges. If you start criticizing everyone, then that is what going to impact their independence. The Supreme Court judges might be fearful of not to take extreme stand. So later on, they can be criticized by the society as well. So, but they have to go against the popular opinion and they have to afford the justice also. So will never allow harm to small business farmers, said by the Prime Minister. In USA, tariff looms. Recently there is a free trade negotiation that has been going on between USA and India, and our Prime Minister time and again said that whatever may be the consequences, we are not going to hamper the interest of our farmers, small business holder. So that is what the Prime Minister said in this rally. So next is Bihar voter challenging the deletion of the deletion and will get mandatory hearing. This is what said by the Election Commission of India. So I think you know that the special intensive revision drive that is being going on in Bihar, that led to the 65 lakh people excluded, and now there is a revision or review process going on. If anyone found their name is not available, so they can challenge that and they'll get a mandatory hearing. That means the process of removal should not be automatically, it should be follow the due process of law. So next important article is, India Fuji call for open Indo-Pacific region, agree to develop defense tie. So you have to see the Fuji map location. So in the Pacific Ocean, recently we have seen China influence in the Fiji island is rising very rapidly, and all these countries are quite fearful of China. They don't want to put too much of dependence on China. So that is the reason. So they are looking for India as an opportunity or alternative partner, because USA is retreating, or you can say pushing back from international level. So that is the reason. So these countries are looking for India as an alternative partner, and so they are looking for India to cooperate security aspect. So, and our Prime Minister clearly stated that we need to ensure Indo-Pacific should be open and free for everyone. Any single country cannot dictate and everything, and it should not be controlled by that only. So lack of diversity in India newsroom and media ecosystem is serious issue. So this is what clearly indication. That means, if you look into our composition of our media person, composition of a journalist, you will find that underrepresentation of the women, underrepresentation of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So what we need to improve the participation of this weaker section so that their voice can be heard properly in different aspects. So dear student, you can get our current affair magazine. So you can simply scan this QR code to get it from our applications. So next is the Collegium recommended the elevation of the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Patna High Court to the Supreme Court. So you can see Alok Aradhe and Justice Bipul Manu Bhai Pancholi. So they are elevated to the Supreme Court. So next, the BJP, the Congress, the Kharge pitches for rise in the representation of women in the Congress. So Mallikarjun Kharge, I think you know about Congress president. So they are appealing for rising the participation of the women. It's a very good thing. If our political party, they themselves give more representation to the women, so we can see more women MP at the parliament level. So no need to provide all this reservation. So reservation will be meaningless. So that is what we are expecting, and we should push hard for our politicians to provide more reservation. So next, you can get this current affair by scanning this QR code. So recently, one more disturbing things happen. Top court stay the action against the person. What we are seeing, there is a report, there is a after this electoral controversy going on in the India. So one particular data or research paper is published by Sanjay Kumar, who is actually the co-director of Center for Study of Developing Society, regarding analysis of Maharashtra Assembly election. So later on, he deleted that. So because of that, FIR is filed, and government threatened to take the legal action. So when Sanjay Kumar approached the court stop the execution of arrest execution, and that is what we need. If anyone is speaking against the government, immediately government taking the revenge. So that is what we should not expect. Rather, government need to be more tolerate, more need to be public, everything in public, so that we can prevent such action altogether. Chali. So next important article is, what does the new Online Gaming Act outline? So recently Parliament passed Online Gaming Act, Prevention of Online Gaming Act. So what it is talking about? So what was the World Health Organization said about the real money game? So how are esports social gaming segment different from the online gaming? So let's discuss about that. So recently our parliament passed the online gaming bill 2025. So that is what led to the banning of real money game. So game that involve some sort of money are banned. So why they have banned? So government data suggested that around 15,000 crore every year lost because of real money games. So they are quite addictive and people are involved in this process, and later on they lose all their money because the application they are designing in such a algorithm that at the end you cannot win. Ultimately there will be winner of this application. So real money game, so according to World Health Organization, has linked the real money game to compulsive behavior. Once you have indulged in game, so you'll start repeating playing this game. So next is psychological distress, financial hardships, and overall disruption of the family life. So reflecting this danger, 22 cases of suicide attributed to the online gaming. So so many people are died just because of addictions to this real money games. Real money game industry, on the other hand, they are saying that if there is a ban overnight, so that is what led to the creation of unemployment. No doubt unemployment is going to create, but that cannot be ground for indulging illegal activity. So what are the three segments of the online game? So if you look into that, online game can be categorized into three segments. First one is real money game, second one is esports, third one is social gaming. So act proposes that three category of online game. So first one is esports, social gaming, and real money gaming. So act aims to promote esports and social gaming segment. It seeks to ban all form of the real money game because these are addictive and led to the people are losing their hard-earned money, and later on they commit suicide. So act define real money games and online games play regardless of whether play on skill or chance. Game can be, the online game can be game of chance. Game of chance, no need any talent, simply by luck, that's lottery. And game of skill, here you need to have skills to, for example, I think you know about Tin Patti, so here we need skill. So game of chance or both. So played by the fee or with an expectation of winning money or other stakeholder, other stakes, like for example, including credit, coins, tokens, virtual money, which can be converted to money. So under such definition, various type of popular sports like poker, rummy, fantasy cricket, ludo, so they classified as a real money game. Several such platform are presented by so many celebrity. I think you know about Dhoni, Hardik Pandya. So with respect to esports, so Act defines them as a game. So that is being recognized by the National Sports Governance Act. So they are registered with proposed to regulatory authority. It include many payment for registration. So this include Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. So these are called esports. So no, on the other hand, for social gaming, there is no definition available. It include broader category of online games defined by the games play on the electronics on digital device operate as a software through internet. So under section 4 of this bill, government can facilitate development and availability of the online social games for recreational and educational purpose. So it can be used to promote educational and recreational purpose. So only we are banning the real money game application, not other applications. Okay. So in 2003, so IT minister, they have implemented guideline on digital media ethics code. So treating the online gaming farm like as an intermediary, just like the social media intermediary, all this online gaming farm will treat them as a intermediary. So they have to perform KYC, they have to uphold that their game is not used by the children. So new act makes no provisions to constrain the minor from playing the game, social games or esports. So what we are seeing, our children are involved in the gaming. So because of that, gaming disorder is developing, but it is not providing. It also provide for budget allocation from Consolidated Fund of India to promote online social gaming in the country. So it also provide for budget allocation. So why government brought this act? So because of this misuse, abuse by this the gaming platform, so that led to this act. So complaint from the user who has lost thousands of crore online money games, and it also needs of also there is a parliamentary panel. So that is what taking about the funding. This can be the fund, can be the profit that is they are making from the real money game